Okay, what about now? Okay, what about now? Yes, okay, I can hear myself. So, um, I guess in my traveling, I was still connected to my uh, earphones. I guess in my traveling, I was still connected to my earphones. Okay. All right. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being patient and getting it together. So every episode is brought to you by, sponsored by Melanie Ann's Boutique. If you guys have not reached out or visited her website, visit melanieannsboutique.com. You guys will not be disappointed at all. If you would like your business or anything to be, would like me to shout you out or anything like that, definitely hit my inbox. If you would like to be a sponsor, definitely reach out. That also goes for the podcast platform. If you would like to send a commercial, if you would like to sponsor, that way your brand touches more than just here. Definitely reach out. We can chat about it. But like I said, I'm just want to come on and be visible. A lot of times we have moments, and instead of us being transparent, we keep it all bottled up inside. And so um, I don't want us to be in that place. So I try to provide the platform. This is a safe space, and I don't mind what I talk about is what I talk about. I have no shame, no filter. I feel like the things that I go through are um, are there for me to be able to share with others and help other people go through things that they may be going through. And so, no one wants to be a part of someone who is not transparent with them, who they cannot be themselves around. And if anybody has been around me, you know that I am definitely um, myself. I am not going to be or try to act like anyone else or embody anyone else's character or traits. I only know how to be me. So I try to show up and make sure that I give you guys the best version of who I am. And so on my family call today, we one of the points that we talked about was um, what do you do? And I'm gonna paraphrase because I want us to talk about it. What do we do when we get frustrated or when we get angry? Um, are we able, or what, or how come most of the times when we feel a certain way or something happens, if I'm going to pick on Miss Lorraine because she just jumped on, but if me and Miss Lorraine are having a conversation and she does something to offend me or to upset me, why do I feel like the only way to respond is in a negative sense. The best way to respond is with love. Ms. Lorraine could have said something and meant it in love, but how it came off caused me to feel some type of way. We have a choice. We can choose to respond out of emotion and out of anger, which then causes a ripple effect. It then causes me and Lorraine to be at odds against each other, right? Instead of saying, hey, let's be honest, text messages is the worst way to communicate because you read how you want it to read. If Lorraine say, what's up, sucker? I can read that as if Miss Lorraine was coming at me some type of way. And my response, who are you talking to like that? You're not talking to me like that. And it goes on and on and on. Whereas I could be like, what do you mean? Or respond a different way to let her know I'm confused. And she could be saying, oh, well, I was just playing. Just throwing something out there. Sometimes we read things how we just assume, but text messages have no voice, they have no sound, they have no emotion behind them, they are words. And sometimes we think that because we know a person, we know exactly what tone they're saying it in, which it could be this time around, that's not the tone that they're using, or that's not the meaning that they're putting behind it. When you have a disagreement with someone, it is always best. And I had not always been the greatest person at this, which is why I can talk about it because I am still growing in that area, but I have become a better person in it. I have had it to where people have said some extremely harsh things to me through messenger, through text message, through email, and not so much talking about what I think the tone was, the verbiage that they use. And I had to make a conscious decision to say, how are you going to respond? We can easily respond with wow, okay, and leave it at that. And anyone knows if you respond wow, okay, it's not okay. You're being sarcastic. You are initiating some type of back and forth. Whether you say you are or not, you definitely are. So we can acknowledge, and a lot of times when things come about, when we know that we are in a disagreement with people, sometimes the best way to diffuse is just to acknowledge what they're saying. Hey, listen, I understand this is how you feel, and I apologize. I apologize for making you feel that way. I apologize for any part that I may have played in you feeling like that. Guess what? It's hard for someone to come back and just keep going back and forth when you have acknowledged their feelings and you have issued an apology, a sincere apology. Tell them why you're apologizing. Listen, I apologize. I wasn't the best friend that you thought I was, that you were expecting me to be. I apologize that I didn't show up for you like you were expecting me to. I apologize that I don't call you as much as you would like for me to call. But, or however, don't say because but seems like you are about to give an excuse of why you did something. Um, this is true. Some people were never taught how to apologize. We're quick to say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, apologize. What are you, and you know, people now again, when even when you say I apologize, people still want to try to see if they can catch you up. But what you apologizing for? Why you apologizing? Because they want to see if you actually heard their concerns. So tell them. However, if this friendship continues or if this relationship continues, how would you like me to show up for you? How would you like me to handle this in the future? You know, and that allows them to go. Now, if they don't want that, then they're not going to pay it any mind. They're going to leave it where it is. But if you are sincerely wanting to salvage Some relationships are not worth salvaging, especially when you keep going through the same cycles of stuff. When every time it's always you. It's always you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. And no one on the other end is taking accountability for the things that they are doing. Sometimes it is best to agree to disagree, or agree that the friendship is not working, the relationship is not working, but end it on a good note. Listen, you deserve better. And it seems as if I cannot give you what you need. So maybe we should just be friends and part ways. So that way I'm not blocking what you're looking for. I'm not wasting any more of your time, and mean it. You know, not say that and then when the relationship is salvaged and you go over here and you talk down about this person, or when the relationship is salvaged, you have to see this person and the rolling of the eyes and all of that. Not saying y'all have to go hang out, but sometimes if I see you out, I'm gonna say hi, I'm gonna speak, because there's no ill will, there's no ill feelings here. It's, hey, how you doing? I hope everything's good, and you're sincere about it. But it seems the stigma is, and I'm gonna get a little deep with it. The stigma is baby mama, baby daddy cannot be friends unless there's still something going on between them. My oldest son, well, I don't have no shame in it. My three kids' fathers, if I see them, we are cool. We can hang out. We can go chill. And guess what? There is nothing going on between us. Because trust me, if we're not together now, it is for a reason of why we're not together. Okay, let's just be clear about what it is. But the stigma is not always, if we are getting along, that means there's still something going on there. That is not the case. That is not always the case. So we have to change that stigma. If a friendship does not work out, that doesn't mean that y'all can't be cordial. That doesn't mean that you always have to be like, child, the clique, don't nobody speak to her because we not friends. Not. It is what it is. But these are the stigmas that come along with whatever the anger was to begin with. On the flip side of that, if you know that you are a person that is easily irritated or easily angered, what are you planning to do to that is correct? Be Christ-like at all times. And it's easier said than done until, and then here's the thing too. Let's talk about it. Not trying to say I'm getting on here to preach, but listen, we will say, oh, God, help me with my anger. Oh, God, help me. Ooh, Lord, help me, Lord. Ooh, God, I just want to control my tongue. I just want to do this. You don't think that you still have to go through situations that will that involve you having to make the right choice to calm your anger, to calm your tongue, to say, okay, Jolie, count to 10, breathe, walk away. But we feel like if we walk away, we the punk, we soft. No, walking away is a strength. Let's talk about it. That is being strong. People used to make me think that because I know how to walk away from situations, I know how to fall all the way back before something is said that I may regret later. Although it's going to be true facts, it's the delivery of it is what's going to cause a problem. So because I know how to fall all the way back, people used to make me think that there was something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. The fact that I know how to walk away so things are not stirred, or things are not, they don't get worse, that helps me to calm myself. But we want so much to say, ooh, help me to be a better person. But you still got to go through things in order to get you to be the better person. If you just by yourself all the time, how are you becoming a better person? How are you knowing how to treat people if you're never around them? How you knowing how to talk out situations and relationships and friendships or whatever ships you have when if you're in a church, if you know it part of PTA or whatever it is that you have to deal with people, if you know that there is an issue there, you can't ask for God to help you with situations if you never want to go through things that are going to help you with the situation. I think we talked about it last night. We ask for peace and we ask for all these things, but then when we have to go through those tests in order to develop those, we fail every time. That's the only way you're going to get better is if you continue to go through it. Is if we continue to go through things that are going to strengthen us. And guess what? Even if you go through a situation and you make the wrong choice of how you react, you still have time to go back and apologize. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Mama. You still have time to go back and say, listen, I apologize for how I reacted. I should have reacted differently. We don't want to be the bigger person and apologize. Sometimes we feel like we don't want to apologize. I already apologized. It's time for them to apologize. So what if they never apologize? What if when you are in school, Jemiah is in the 12th grade now. My baby is in her last year. So in order for Jemiah to graduate, Jemiah has to pass the classes that she has every semester. If Jemiah doesn't pass a required class, if she doesn't pass all her English classes, guess what? She either gonna be in summer school or she gonna be repeating the 12th grade next year, right? The only way for you to pass to the next grade or to the next level is to pass the test. She goes to her class every day. They give her the materials. God gives us His Word. We can study the Word every day. He gives us the materials that we need for the class to pass it. And guess what? When we get ready to take the test, if we panic, if we don't study, 9 times out of 10, we're going to fail the test. How many of us done failed the test? Whatever the test is, how many of us have failed? I failed plenty of times. I know God was just like, you know what? I'm about to slap her over the head with this book if she don't get it together. How many times, Joel, I got to keep telling you to do this? How many times I have to keep showing you to do this? How many times I got to send a word to you to tell you to do this? So guess what? I was watching. Listen, I'm telling you, it's if I could raise my feet will be raised. There have been so many times that I'm just like, God, I'm trying. I was just watching my one of my favorite movies of all time. I was on a plane. I was watching Grease, and they were starting the school year, the first Grease, the good Grease, not the one that don't have John Travolta in. I don't know what that other Grease is. I ain't talking about that one. It's about the original with John Travolta in it with the little curl in the front. Um, when they started the school year and the teachers was getting the slips, and she said, I have Kaniki again. And the lady said Kaniki had been there longer than anybody. So you mean to tell me Kaniki done seen people come through the come through 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, he's still there. He probably seen another batch come through, he's still there. Guess what? If Kaniki don't apply himself, he gonna be there the next year too. And I think at the end, the T-Birds had flunked again because they was trying to pie the coach on why they failed. He said, you can come to summer school or we'll just see you back again next year. So God is saying, listen, you can study for the test. Li- Listen, God said, listen, this ain't the Bible, but I'm gonna use it. God said, listen, every test is an open book test. Every test, you can use your notes. Every test, you can ask your neighbor for the answer. You can use every test. You can raise your hand and ask me. You can ask the teacher. What's the answer? God said, I give you everything you need to pass the test. I just need you to pass it. We got to make better choices. That's how we pass to the next level, by studying God's words. That is so true. And if we don't study, we will find ourselves in the same position. If we don't respond the right way, we will find ourselves in the same position. If we don't be slow to speak and quick to listen, if we don't settle down and stop letting people, as the young people say, letting people gas us up, because we had the wrong people in our corner. It's just like a boxing ring, boxing match. Man, your coach them know that you're gonna lose this fight. They can see that you about to get knocked out. But what they do, they got your shoulders. Come on, man, you got this. You got this. Oh, 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 he's shaking. He's shaking, and you so delusional. You're like, oh yeah, he sure is. He sure is. They gas him up, get right back in there and get his butt knocked out. Stop letting people gas you up to fail. And then when you have to reap the consequences, where the people at that was just gassing you up to make these decisions, to make these bad choices? We're listening to the wrong influence. We're listening to the wrong teacher. The math teacher can't tell you what to use for English. He can't tell you, if you ask him an English question, he can't tell you, oh, the answer is 12. What they got to do with my English question? You can't go to people that don't know the answer. You can't go to somebody that has not studied God's word thinking they're going to give you the right answer. If God said be slow, what he says, be slow. I don't want to say it wrong, but I believe he says be slow to wrath. You could be angry, but don't follow it up by sinning. You can't go ask somebody who always fighting, what should you do about a situation? Guess what? They finna tell you the only thing they know. I knock that so and so out. Oh, you girl, don't let them punk you. And it be all in your head, and you be like, yeah, I ain't gonna do that. Yeah, I ain't gonna do. Call me soft all day. Call me soft all day. Listen, I'm tired of fighting. I fought everybody growing up. I'm undefeated at this point. But guess what? That ain't gotta be, just because that's how I was back then. That does not mean that I have to continue that same path now. No, let's find a different objective. Let's find a different way to handle things. If I offend Catherine and Catherine says, Jolie, now you offended me. Catherine, you know what? My bad. I was not trying to offend you. I apologize. I apologize. I won't react. I won't say that because I know that offends you. But we so hard, we can't even apologize to our sister. We so hard, we can't even acknowledge that we done hurt somebody's feelings. If we say we sorry, that means, we too soft. But then when we're not around people, then we want to be holier than thou. We want to talk like we got some sense. But God can't elevate us if he don't allow us to go through situations that involves us making decisions that strengthens us to elevate. Listen, I hate math. I do. When I see math now, math ain't even math like it was when I was growing up. We had regular math, add, subtraction, multiplication, division, little fractions, little decimals. I think that's all I remember growing up. Now you got calculus, you got pre-calculus, accounting. You got all of these different. Listen, I'm not trying to be way advanced, but guess what? If I'm saying, and I'm just using this, if I say I want to work at a bank, guess what? Or if I want to be an accountant, if I say, hey, I want to work this job, and it involves me working with numbers, guess what? They're gonna tell me, Jolie, you're gonna have to take up some of these classes on the side. Then that's not the direction I want to go. So if I know I want to be a better communicator, what you think God is gonna do? He's gonna allow me to keep having situations where I have to communicate better. He is going to allow probably me and Joelle to have some disagreements. Guess what? Because I got to learn to communicate better. Because I'm quick to stare out the window at the trees that I've seen for the last 20 years I've been in Texas. I've seen those same trees, same ones, down 635, down 121, down 114, down 360. I've seen those same trees. So instead of looking at the trees, now when we are in the car, if something bothers me, guess what? Right in the midst, we could be driving, and I'll say, transparent moment, ready? And he says, yes. And I'll say, you said this and this bothered me, made me feel some type of way. And he'll say, I didn't know that. I'm sorry, this is what I meant by that. And I can say, okay. However, the way you said it like this, it bothered me. And he'll say, I apologize. I will work on not saying anything like that because I didn't know it. I didn't know it came off like that. If I never say anything, he would never know that it's an issue. So if something were to come up again and it needed him to respond that way, he's going to keep responding because he doesn't think it's anything wrong, right? We have to learn. Now, I could, and I have before, so I can talk about it. Transparency Tuesday. I could be transparent. There are times where I shut down and I don't like people to make me talk. I want to talk now. I don't want to talk now. I'll talk later. Well, when is later? When I decide later is later. And the more you keep poking at me to get an answer out of me, the more frustrated I get to where I could lash out. And guess what? I'm going to have to apologize because I allowed that to make me angry. I allowed it to make me sin because of the hurtful things that I've now said to my partner. How I now respond is, listen, I don't want to talk about that now because I want to make sure that I am in the right mindset to deal with this. And I need to replay, and this is me talking for real. I need to replay what happened to make sure I'm not overreacting, make sure that my emotions are not out of whack, and make sure that what I think I heard, see if it's even worth me getting emotional about. And then we can talk about this later. Later, maybe later on tonight, but it'll be before we close our eyes and go to bed, because my grandmother taught me you don't go to bed upset. So in all of that, I would need for my partner to respect my boundaries and say, I got you. So when you are ready to talk, we'll talk. So that way we can have a civilized conversation, right? If I had never said that, which in the past I have not, and he just be talking, and he just be talking, he's still talking, and I don't say nothing. I'm not doing anything but adding lighter fluid to this fire. And the more I don't say nothing, the more emotional he gets. And I know he is. So I'm doing it on purpose. We know what we be doing. Sometimes the response, we will, okay, transparency moment, okay? Transparency Tuesday. We will act like, and I got my hand up because this is me. We will act like we didn't do nothing. I ain't even say nothing. Why they getting all in their feelings? You know exactly what you did. The fact that you didn't say nothing is it has caused things to spiral. So you still responsible for what has happened. Let me see what y'all saying over here. Let me see what y'all saying. I shut down too, but internalize, which makes things worse. Yes, I used to shut down too due to past relationships, but I've overcame the issues. Yep, we have to. We have to. We have to use, and that's why I wouldn't respond, because I knew my past relationships. When I responded, it came with this afterwards. So I had to make sure that I did not put myself in a position, even though I know my honey is nothing like my past relationships. Sometimes, if we allow our emotions to get in the way, it'll be triggers that's not really there. I remember transparency, and I know Joelle don't mind me talking. I ain't, telling our person business. But I remember one time we had a disagreement, and I was getting in my car, and he was standing kind of close to me. And as I was getting in my car, all he did was moved his arm. Wasn't at me. He was moving. He talks with his hands like me. But because my back was kind of turned, all I seen was his arm move. And the first thing I thought was 1-2 punch. And I had to make myself get in the car because I had almost reacted off of what I thought I saw because of past relationships. I had to make myself get in the car. Sit down, Jolie, because you may be overreacting. Joelle wouldn't lay a finger on me. If me and Joelle are playing and he missing and fall on my leg, or if you're getting up out the bed and you miss and put your hand on the other person, I'm fragile now, everything be hurting. If I do that, Lord have mercy, Joelle be about to, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know Joel ain't gonna put his hand. Joel ain't gonna raise his voice at me. Joel ain't gonna do none of that. However, because that was a trigger and I did not know it, I had to catch myself. We have to make sure that we don't just react to what we think is going to happen. I know they're gonna say something smart, so I'm gonna say something smart first. No, why would you initiate the foolery? Why would you initiate what you know is going to turn into sin for you? If I know I'm a minister. Nobody can't tell me I'm not a minister. Am I a perfect minister? No. Ain't none of they those don't exist. Perfect ministers do not exist. Perfect pastors do not exist. So let's make sure we get that under control. That is correct. Every action does not deserve a reaction. I know I am not perfect. However, because I'm not perfect, I am going to make mistakes. However, I should not continue to make the same mistake on purpose all the time. If I know, if I know that there are people that I have to deal with on a daily basis, if I know how these people are going to act, guess what? Jolie, you need to find a way to deal with these people without acting a fool. If I come in and I say good morning and somebody don't say it back, I do not have to go and get in their face. And you ain't gonna say good morning, and I said good. Why? What did that just say about my character and about me being a minister? It took away every credibility that I had. Doesn't matter that I'm not perfect. I still need to show some type of self-control. Correct. But I could have kept walking. Okay, so what? They didn't say good morning. So what? They probably had a bad morning. Who? Guess what? The more I show up and be me and say good morning and keep my smile and good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Keep going. I come in bubbly. Good morning. They may not like my bubbliness at first, but at some point, they are going to come and say, I am trying to figure out why you are so bubbly every morning. You come in like you ain't got a care in the world. You good morning. You good morning every morning. And I'm sitting over here and I'm going through hell and I'm dealing with this and I'm dealing with this. And here you come in every morning. Good morning. Guess what? By you doing that, you have now opened the window to share something good with this person because they were going through something. But if I had responded in a negative way because she don't speak or he don't say good morning back, I don't know what they're going through. But how you continue to show up and your consistency can diffuse so much stuff. I can walk in a room full of people that I know don't care for me and smile and speak to everybody and keep it pushing. Guess what? I win. I win because I did not allow what I know to be to cause me to act out of character and sin. I ain't got to walk in and roll my eyes at nobody. As far as I'm concerned, I've already sinned because I've already initiated the confrontation that's about to take place. I've already started it. What you said, Catherine, you said self-control. You said you never know what people going through at home and just be saying good morning will help see life different. Yep. Perfect example. This happened this PM at my children's practice where one of the coach literally turned past me in order not to say hello. Usually I would react, but I let it go. You choose not to speak, that's on you. Perfect example. Oh my goodness. Lorraine, that was right on time. Do y'all know how I used to coach cheerleading for 16 years. Cheerleading. I did it all. Coach cheerleading for 16 years. Do you know how many coaches, how many parents, how many board members? I was on a board. I felt like if my kids were going to be in this league, I need to know what's going on behind the scenes. I need to be a coach. I need to be able to be involved on everything that goes on. So I was involved everywhere. Do you know how many times a coach sized me up? You know how many times a parent complained they don't want their kid on my team? Well, take your child on a put your child. I will gladly push them to another team. That's fine. What does that do to me? And it got to a point where it was like, how the old people said, it's like rainwater rolling off your back or off your shoulder or something. They said like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Who cares? You don't speak, you don't like me, you don't want to. So what? Don't let that change who you are. Don't let that change your character. Don't let that put a damper in your day. What is it going to change? Your reaction has done nothing but damage your credibility and your character. All of the good that you've done, as soon as you step out of character, no one's going to notice or remember. Nobody's going to bring up all the good stuff you did. For what? They got some juice to talk about now. The lashing out you just did for no reason. Why? What was the purpose of that? We just have to do better. Let's not react to everything. And if we do react, let it be a great reaction. That could be a smile. Good morning. Walk in somewhere. Or just if you know someone is, like I said, it goes back to the beginning when I was saying apologize. Be the bigger person and apologize. I know we don't always want to do it. We don't always want to do it. But it gotta be done. Apologize, mean it, and throw it away. You've done your part. You're not even doing it for them, you're doing it for you. Yes, they need to hear it, but at the end of the day, get that stuff out of your system. Guess what? If you don't handle things, you will find yourself constantly in your subconscious thinking about it, dealing with it, dreaming about it. Why are you still holding on to that stuff? Not saying we are emotional creatures. Not saying you're not going to feel some type of emotion. Not even saying you're not going to get upset. What we're saying is choose the reaction. You either going to choose the good reaction, or you're going to choose that other reaction. The choice is yours to make. I was telling my mom on our call tonight that every time that something came about and I reacted out of character, I remember how much time I had to respond. I had plenty of time to respond a different way than what I did. I could be transparent about that and say, I remember several times, y'all. Listen, I remember several times. One thing I have learned is stop placing your standard on some. Come on now. I remember several times where I have reacted out of emotion, and what they got, I bet they wish they hadn't even said nothing to me. But I can also remember me reacting to something. Read it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. And before I can hit send, God said erase it. Erase the whole thing. But then guess what? I turn around and write something else. Uh-huh. Read it. Oh yeah, that's juicy. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna show him. Before I can hit sin, God said erase it. Some things I rewrote. Can't make this up. Some things I rewrote 4 and 5 times. I'm ready to sin. I mean, I acknowledged every line, tore them from limb to oh, I was waiting on the response back. God said remove it. One of them I had to leave blank. I had to just leave it on red. They know I read it, and I did not respond, and I never got another message. And others, God had me break down the long tear down message of me and acknowledge and apologize each section. And I promise you, I could have bit a hole in my lip because I was like, I know God, you're not going to make me do this. And I did it. Guess what? Couldn't even get a response back. How do you respond to someone acknowledging what you said and apologizing? What do you say back? Because you ready, because you think I'm going to respond a certain way. Then when I don't, how do you respond back to somebody who gives you no ammunition to respond back with? She's beauty. Listen, I message you and I tell you, yeah, I don't like how you came at me and blah blah blah. You fake, you this, blah blah, and I don't like this. And you respond back to me and you say, sis, I apologize. I didn't mean to come off like that. If I've offended you, please forgive me. Whatever, whatever, whatever. I'm ready for you to come back with, I ain't this, blah, blah, blah. And you don't, and you coming at me so calm. What I'm gonna say back? Yeah, don't let it happen. Like what I'm gonna say? What I'm gonna say back to that? As soon as I open it, I'm like, dang. Okay, dang, she acknowledged that. Dang, she apologized for that. Oh wow, okay. What I'm gonna say back? Nothing. Cause then it's gonna show that I'm just looking to pick a fight. If I keep coming back at you in a negative way when I've already addressed or when you've already addressed my concerns. So we gotta be so careful. The choice is yours on how you react. Let's start reacting in a better way, in a more positive way. I still have to do it. I ain't perfect. Guess what? Each time God elevates me, I'm gonna have a different level of the same things that I'm trying to do. I'm gonna have those tests on the next level that I'm in. When you're in kindergarten, you do a little math. When you're in first grade, you do some math. It's just a little advanced in kindergarten. When you go to second grade, same thing. Good night, darling. I'm getting ready to close too. Each grade you go, you have a different level of the test that you need. Study for the test at hand. You have two choices. What choice are you gonna make? I love y'all. Thank y'all for staying on. Transparency Tuesday. Y'all, tomorrow is What I Do Wednesday. And I think I'm going to highlight also someone else's business. So if you would like me to highlight what you do, send me an inbox on Facebook, Jolie Rashawn, on Instagram _Jolie Rashawn, and I will highlight your business tomorrow. It is all about uplifting each other and making sure we show up for one another. And the more we show up for one another, the stronger we become as a whole. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Transparency Tuesday. Love y'all. Be blessed.